Well, it's PDC World Championship Darts Eve, the night before the championship start. I'm going to come back and give you my predictions for the games on Wednesday and also give you some thoughts on the tournament. Wow, this is exciting time now. It is time for the World Darts Championship to start, and really going to be excited for the next whatever many days until January 3rd when they give out the championship. And I'm preparing for the Leafs to play the Edmonton Oilers tonight if they can survive the COVID cases that are coming through. But I'll probably be in a lot better mood right now than I will be in, let's say, 4 or 5 hours after the Toronto Maple Leafs play. I did see a video earlier today, an interview on Online Darts of John Part being interviewed, and he had a Leaf shirt on, so fantastic. That's got to be good vibes for the Leafs tonight as they take on the Edmonton Oilers. But let's get into the World Championship. So what I'm going to do is give you my predictions, the score, and if there's any betting lines that I'm interested in, I will share with you. Tomorrow's betting lines are nowhere to be found. I think it's going to be a pretty easy day of predictions tomorrow. There's a barn burner game, but I think it's going to go a certain way, and the value is just not there. So I'm not going to put any money down for the games tomorrow. I'm just going to sit back, turn on the games, and enjoy them. So really excited for that. Looking at the draw, and I'll give you sort of what my thoughts. But what I'm going to do is the first round games. Geez, there's a lot of bad ones. To be honest, I remember looking at some of the draws for the Grand Slam of Darts when the groups and looking at this going. Some of these players I don't know who they are. But if I were to take a couple games, the one game I'm really looking forward to in round one. Round two is going to have some fantastic games. Round two is going to have some beautiful games. But round one, if you take a look at those games, obviously tomorrow the Matt Campbell, Adrian Lewis will be beauty. I'm a Canadian. I'm going to be cheering for Matt Campbell. I'll give you my predictions on how I think he's going to do a little bit later. But I think that's going to be a really good game. I think you've got Lawrence Logan, Raymond van Barneveld as another beaut. But for me, the round one matchup that I think will be the most exciting and the best will be Florian Hempel against Martin Schindler. Two Germans going at it. I think it'll be a really good game, and I'll leave my predictions to later, but I think that's your barn burner. And also the fact you get to see Paul Lim play, and he's playing Joe Murnan. That'll be a great game as well. You look at some of those round two games, there's possibility of Rob Cross, Raymond van Barneveld, Adrian Lewis, Gary Anderson, John Norman Jr., Michael Van Gerwen, another Canadian, John Norman Jr. He will definitely have the best entrance. I can't think he won't. And he's going to be cheering for hitting a single 9, so it's going to be fantastic. Hopefully he gets through his first game, which is against Chaz Barstow. But let's get into the predictions for tomorrow. Getting excited. What I'm going to do is track it. Hopefully I do really, really well. I think I will do well tomorrow. First game up is Richie Edhouse against... Now it's going to be Peter Hudson. It was going to be Li Hao Wen, who I believe had been in the tournament 2008, 2009. However, I believe the visa didn't come through. It wasn't even COVID. It was a visa not coming through. And Peter Hudson, the Rock, will be stepping in. He's a big fella too. So here's the thing. Just like last year, it's very similar, I think, where there's going to be the person who's going to play 2 games. So Richie Edhouse against Peter Hudson. I think it's going to be a walk in the park for Richie Edhouse. I believe he's going to win it 3-0. He's going to carry some confidence into his last game. Now, he'll be the only player that has to play twice in one session. So there's the disadvantage. Steve West had to do that last year against Peter Wright. I believe Yella Clausen had to do it against Michael Van Gerwen. It's, usually the champion plays on the first night, or the previous champion plays on the first night. I like Richie Edhouse to win this big. I had him to win big against Li Hu Wen, but I'm still going to have him win big Peter Hudson. I mean, Peter Hudson, if you take a look at his averages, rarely is he in the 80s. So the fact that he was the 3rd qualifier is kind of crazy to me. I think the way they do the qualifiers is insane. You should be going for the next person on the PDC Tour of merit list for the entire year versus the qualifiers. I don't quite get that. And I think you'd have a better quality player. Gordon Mathers isn't, he's okay. Mike DeDecker's okay, but if you take a look at the PDC Tour merit, you might have had Jarl Klaas, and you might have some better players that would have qualified. And to me, merit-wise, over the year, they would have had that opportunity. The other thing to keep in mind during this tournament is tour cards. So Richie Edhouse, I believe, got his tour card last year, so he's still going through. And I think Peter Hudson's the same. So 3-0. The next game up, Ricky Evans against Nitin Kumar. I've seen Nitin Kumar play a couple times. It hasn't been pretty, and I saw Ricky Evans play in the Players' Championship, and it wasn't pretty. So I don't know what to go here. Now, Ricky Evans is going to be the fastest player. He'll probably get the night over. I remember Kumar wasn't that fast, so that might play into it. The reason why Ricky Evans wasn't good in the last game I saw him, and it was James Wade, couldn't hit a double. I would imagine he might have spent some time on the board hitting some doubles. So I like him to win this one. I'm going to take him to win this one 3-0. This is another shutout over Nitin Kumar. Next game up, this is probably your best game. Well, this is one of the best games of the first round to me. Adrian Lewis against Matt Campbell. Matt Campbell being Canadian. He also won the online darts tournament recently on the weekend. Again, he did it with like 107 average and over 4 legs. Again, set play. You never know you're going to get. Matt Campbell played fantastically against Scott Waits last year and just got robbed. I think he's going to play well. I can't see Adrian Lewis losing this game. I know he's lost to Kevin Munch before. I know he isn't playing great. I know he's got the Peter Wright incident where he acted like an ass, in my opinion, and started going on social media. He's not going to do anything against Matt Campbell. First of all, Matt Campbell's farm boy. Tough, Canadian tough. He ain't going to do nothing to him. And first of all, Matt Campbell's not going to care. You can stomp all you around. I don't think he really gives a rat's ass. And he's not going to get drawn into any shit with Adrian Lewis, I'll tell you that. So I just think Adrian Lewis is the better darts player. That's all it is. Right now, Campbell now getting his tour card, hopefully or at least starting his 2-year tour starting in January. So I really love Matt Campbell to win. And Matt Campbell's got a good value. I think it's about plus 240 on the odds. I just don't see it. I see Adrian Lewis winning this one 3-1 and setting up a beauty Gary Anderson, Adrian Lewis, two-time back-to-back champions just going in at the second round. It's crazy. Last game up then would be, again, this is the one where I'm going to predict, where I'm going to guess at who's going to win. So it's going to be Price against Edhouse. That's my guess. And I think Price is going to win this. I don't think it's going to be easy. Richie Edhouse is not a pushover. He's going to put up a game. He's got a solid game. He's just not solid enough to beat Gerwyn Price. I like Gerwyn Price to win this one 3-1. So again, my predictions: Richie Edhouse to beat Peter Hudson 3-0. Another shutout, Ricky Evans to beat Nitin Kumar 3-0. Adrian Lewis to beat Matt Campbell 3-1, and what I think will be a great game. And Gerwyn Price to beat Richie Edhouse 3-1. Hope everyone enjoys the darts. Hopefully I do well, and you'll see me tomorrow, and I'll be giving my predictions every day. And also, if there's any odds that I like on the lines, I'll share them with you, and you can follow along to see how I do on the betting. But I'm not doing any betting tomorrow because I just don't see any value. Cheers, everyone. Go Leafs, go. World Championship Eve. Darts. Woo! Cheers.